It's Barrel Clean Out Tuesday. Petrified Wood has been running in 4670 coarse or super coarse silicone carbide for 2 weeks. Last week we did add ceramic media to the mix. I normally would not do that, but we needed the volume for our 6-pound barrel. This is going to have to be moved down. There's just not enough left to keep running in our 6-pound barrel. So we might be having to move some things around this week. So let's see how we're doing. There's a little extra slurry left on some of this. Try to dry that off a little bit. It's shaping, you know, a lot of the sharpness is coming off. Get that slurry off. But it still needs a lot of work. You can see that there's still blemishes and imperfections in the stone. All of this back here I would like to have worked off, but I think we can move to 60-90. So for me, I'm kind of renaming the stages a little bit. When I use a 4670 super coarse to try and jumpstart the shaping on really hard stones, I'm calling that pre-stage 1. I don't want to confuse people out there just learning to rock tumble when I say stage 1 and I'm using a different grit than everyone else. So I'm going to call it a pre-stage 1. Ooh, nice seam on that. So we'll continue stage 1 being 60-90 coarse grit, which most of the community is used to hearing. So this is in pre-stage 1. That needs a lot of work to get that seam. But petrified wood is really, really nifty. Look at the shape on this piece. That's really cool. I have yet to find a favorite piece on this petrified wood. I mean, it's only been 2 weeks, but usually by now I've got a favorite piece. You know, one that we can follow all the way through. This looks like it could probably be cracked. Just split this stone. It's not a very large stone and cracking, but I think in order to be able to work with it, we're going to have to crack it. Set that one aside. Whew. I mean, there's a lot of work that still needs to be done. There were some chips in the barrel, which we expect at this stage. Look at that one. You see the wood grain. Wondering if this petrified wood seems to have a lot of blemishes in this rough. Yeah, there's just a lot of work. I'm going to leave it in 4670 for another week. Leave it in pre-stage 1. Trying to keep these damp. I think that's quartz. Yep, that's quartz. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't slurry. There's a lot to inspect here. And I'm going to do it off camera so the videos are shorter. But I did want to show off some of these pretty pieces. Wow. There's just so much shaping that needs to happen. And I know that 6090 will do some of it, most of it. But there's a lot of different issues. There's fracture lines, there's a few pits, there's valleys. So I want all this stuff worked out, and I mean this could take months in 6090, and that's why I'm opting for the 4670, because it's coarser and it will take more off faster. But then I sort of defeated the purpose by putting ceramic media in the batch. So I think I will run this without ceramic media, but if I can get a smaller barrel. Because the ceramic media cushions the stone and it slows down the shaping process, but sometimes it's just a necessary evil because you don't have the correct barrel size available. This stuff is really, really pretty. I'm hard pressed to pick a favorite at this juncture. It's a neat little shape. This one's coming along quite nicely. Ooh. We may just have to resign ourselves to a lot of these little, like right in here. It's not a grit catcher. Maybe there's that one. Huh. Okay, I'm going to finish inspecting these, and we'll be back with an update in just a moment. Okay, I am really hard pressed to pick a favorite, but I like this one. You can see the wood grain. It's rounded really nicely. Doesn't really seem to have a whole lot of issues. I mean, it does need work right here in this little seam right there. But it's mostly really, really good shape. I think this one is kind of funny. It kind of looks like a gun. But it's going to require a lot of work. I'm curious to see if it'll continue to keep this shape as it tumbles. So I hope that these two will be able to keep track of as we go through. Okay. Petrified Wood is going back into 4670 for another week. Some of these pieces look like they're going to be real problems. And then here's some chippage. They're just kind of like little tiny pebble size. We're going to put these in the Zen garden. Okay. Petrified Wood. After 2 weeks is going to need more. See, this one, I think this is going to be a garden stone. We're never going to get those pits out of there. See how deep those are? They're just going to be grit catchers and it's just going to be bad. So we're going to garden stone it right now. A few of these could actually go to be garden stones. This is really agatized or quartzized or whatever it is that happens to petrified wood. Whoop. Yeah, this is going to be a problem. It's got some neat stuff in it, but I'm going to put that in the garden. Wonder if that came off there. It kind of matches a little bit. Interesting. I'm going to leave that in even though it's tiny. Okay. Alright, petrified wood is it's going to recharge the barrel for 4670 silicone carbide grit. Okay, be right back. Prairie Agate has been running for 3 full weeks in 6090 coarse silicone carbide. And let's take a look and see how it's coming. There's that interesting black and white piece. It's feeling really nice. It's just a tiny bit of work there that needs to be done. This might be one of my favorites. Lots of work right in here in this divot. It's feeling, really nice everywhere else. Just a couple little spots. I mean, it's obviously going to need more time in stage 1. Alright, this one's my favorite. Followed by, what's that? Oh, did we lose that big one? No, here it is. I like this because it kind of has lines going this way and then it has lines going that way. So, my bi-directional. I think this is an interesting pattern. And on the other side, it looks like a completely different stone. Now these are wet. They're not polished by any stretch of the imagination. But you're seeing, how the edges are shaping really, really nicely. There's just a few little areas we want to work out. It's hard to kind of see. Dry it with the shine from being wet. There, so you can much easier see these tiny imperfections that I want shaped out. Yep. Yeah, interesting prairie agate. A lot of variety. Starting to see some nice banding in this one. But you can see where it needs work. This is going to go back into 6090 for another week. Yeah, see right there, this whole line could be a grit catcher. Definitely a grit catcher. You can still see the grit in there. Oof. Let's flush that out. I see a VUG opened up. A VUG, that's a crystal pocket. But we can still, you can see the grit that's still in there. Lots of work on this stone. There's another pocket. And if you don't keep those clear when you change stages, you'll end up with grit contamination, cross contamination, and it will mar the surface of your stones. But because it's going back into going back into 6090, I'm not all that worried about it. Lots of work still needed. Oh, this piece, I've been concerned we were going to lose the tip. And it is hung on. And it is shaped pretty well, if we can get a focus on it. Just looking for any imperfections where it would still... Oh, it's on this side. That's really a character of the stone, not a grit catcher. I'm going to hold this piece aside for medium. I doubt there's anything else really ready for medium. Maybe some of these really thin pieces. Nope. Is this one ready? Right here. Right in here. Close but no cigar. Alright, I'm going to look at these really close offline, off camera, and see if anything is ready for medium, like this beautiful, gorgeous piece, and set it aside. And then we're going to recharge the barrel. And we'll see it next week. Okay, we'll be right back. And we're back with our Snakeskin Jasper. It's been running in 6090 coarse silicone carbide grit for 5 weeks, excuse me. And we've been pulling some aside that's been ready for medium. And this has been reduced down to our smallest barrel, our 1.5 pound barrel. And it's been running with no ceramic media because we've been trying to get it to catch up. And we will take a look and see what's ready for medium. I think this is such an interesting piece, and we've been watching this all along, and you can see how this quartz seam here has just been grinding away, and there's so much less of it. And then this veining, this black this part over here is reducing. This is a fracture line that I've been trying to work out. But the rest of the stone is looking pretty good. You know, there's a little bit of erosion wear here. I might move this to medium. There's some fracturing here I would like repaired before it goes. Before it moves forward, so we'll still keep that in stage 1. I don't think we're ever going to get that to come out. There's a lot more fracturing in this Jasper than I thought there would be. Oh, that needs more work. There's been a lot of volume loss. Wow, that's just stunning. This one's ready for medium. Putting some little pebbles in here. Yeah, see, this is a pretty rough end on here. You see all this whole section. It has potential to be a grit catcher. It's also opening up a quartz seam, so that's interesting. All this in here needs to be worked out. You can still see grit in here. Yeah, that stone definitely needs a lot more work. This has got a little pit here that's working its way out. Yeah, if you can feel it, if you can feel the imperfection, you know, you can just stop looking. That stone's ready to stay in the same stage. This is feeling really, really nice. Let's dry it a little bit. See how we're getting some red here? Okay, let's look. That all feels really smooth. It's a quartz seam. Okay, that one going to medium. That's really neat. Just that little spot right there, but medium might take care of that. Wow, we've gotten some really tiny pieces here. I like the green on this one, that's interesting. Oh, wow. But right there, it needs a little more work. Getting quite a nice pile for medium. Oh. There are all these really super thin pieces. I mean, that's pebble size. Normally I'd pull that out and put that in the Zen garden. Wow. Darn it. Just a tiny bit more. That needs more. Now, that's got a weird texture. Needs more work. It's going to go to medium. It's just too thin. I don't think it'll last another round. Wow, that's a nice one. All right. We have the Snakeskin Jasper split down again, and there's really not a whole lot left. God damn, this is really, really pretty. But you see right there, that's a grit catcher, so it has to go back into 6090 for a little more work, a little more smoothing. That's not catching grit, so we're going to let that go to medium. So we've got about half a barrel that I might add to something else in 6090 to catch up. And then we've got all of these that are in medium. or will be held for medium. Okay, we're getting closer for our Snakeskin Jasper to be moving forward, but I think it's going to stay. The mediums are going to be put on the shelf for another week, and then we're going to try and get all of that 6090 caught up together. We will be right back with our next barrel in Coarse Grit. And we're back with our 6-pound barrel of 6090 Coarse Silicone Carbide Grit, also known as Stage 1. It has been running for, I don't know, 6 weeks. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks. And we kept adding to this barrel with bits and pieces of leftover batches of, you know, Tiger's Eye and Blue Lace Agate, some Aventurines, just because we wanted to get everything off our shelf and have everything caught up. So there's some pretty big stones in this batch, and it's been beating up our ceramic media quite a bit. And it also, with these really large pieces, it kind of beats up the smaller stones because of the weight of it. It's so disproportionate, like to say something like this. So we're gonna keep working on some of these larger stones. Figure out a different way to tumble these. This still needs time. We've pulled it out of batches, we've put it on the shelf, we've held it back. It's just gonna need more work, but it's getting dangerously close to being ready to go to medium. It's just a little bit, and with quartz, you know, this happens. You know, things like that. So we've got to keep working on it. So this particular piece still needs more 6090. Now this we had broken a piece off last week, and we're trying to shape down this internal section right here. Trying to break that down. That's going to need a little bit more work. I think this one can go to, well, see, there's just these little bits and pieces, and we've waited so long, we might as well just keep running them. I'm not worried about mass loss with this rose quartz. These pieces are huge, but there's just needs a little bit more work. Whether it's from erosion from being in the 6090 for so long, or just banging against other big stones, but whatever, it still needs to be worked out. I was hoping I'd be able to pull this stuff out by now. Alright, I'm going to finish this rose quartz off camera, and we'll be right back. Okay. Boy, this rose quartz is really taking forever. I know I have some pulled aside to go to medium and whatever, or to be worked on the flat lap. Wow. I wanted to have really big pieces, and this is what happens. I should have broke it down further. Lesson learned, I will break it down next time. None of this is ready to move forward. Now let's check these teensy pieces. Nope. These were chips that came off last week when I broke up stones, and they're still working their way. Absolutely none of the rose quartz is ready to move forward. Alright, I'm going to check the rest of this barrel off camera, because we've seen this process over and over again. For these particular stones, and again, they're still in 6090, so we're trying to see what can move forward to medium. Alright, we'll be right back. Feldspar comes in a lot of different varieties, and this one is called Zebradorite. It has been running 1 week in 6090 coarse silicone carbide grit with no ceramic media. There has been just a little bit of chippage, not much, so we were happy to see that. As you can see, one of those came right off of this. See how sharp that is? That could have just happened. But it's going to require much more work. These are really interesting pieces. It's starting to shape. Some of the sharp edges are starting to come off. This one is shaped well. But they all have, you know, a lot more work that needs to be done. These are pretty interesting. Really cool patterns. But, I mean, you can see there's some light pitting. Still jagged edges that need to be ground down further. Interesting, interesting, interesting. Here's a little bit of pinker piece. Another pinky one. More yellow. Huh. Really cool. Obviously, nothing is ready to move forward to medium, but we did want to take a good look at the progress between 1 week and the rough. Wow, really super cool stone. So this, I think, is the piece that came off of here. Yep. So it was like this, and it broke off. I'm just going to put that in with the Zen Garden. Okay. Ooh, I like this one. I do tend towards more orange rocks. Really cool. Okay. We will see you, Zebradorite, next week. We're going to probably add ceramic media this time to help fill. Well, maybe not. Nope, we're still in stage 1. We're going to leave the ceramic media out. Yeah, pretty cool. You can see a lot of the quartz in it. And this feldspar, giving it that zebra-ish look. Really cool. Okay, we will see this next week. We're going to go recharge the barrel. Be right back. Black Onyx has been running in stage 1, 6090 coarse silicone carbide grit for 1 week. I'm pretty jazzed about the patterns that we're seeing in this because I really didn't think, I mean, I thought it was just going to be black stone. But look at all the different color and patterning we have in this black onyx. Pretty damn jazzed. So you can see we're starting to get a little bit of shaping. There was no ceramic media in the barrel, and I don't think I'm going to put any in this week either. Just because it requires a lot of work. Like this piece. Holy crap, that's going to be a disaster. Kind of looks like it's all melted, doesn't it? And again, it's wet because we just finished the rinse cycle. Or rinsing the barrel, rather. Needs a lot of work. Really interesting. Holy cow. There is just so much that needs to be shaped on these stones that I'm kind of curious. Because, you know, if this is going to work out. I mean, you see how deep those divots are, but they're not catching grit. And I'm also really concerned about how those marks are going to polish. Are we going to be able to get ceramic media in there? Another, you know, get the, to be able to polish that up. I don't know. Holy cow. Yikes. This one's going to require a lot of work. I mean, a lot. Holy cow. Really interesting. Dang. All right, we know that this is going to require a ton of work. It's only been 1 week. Got lots of little chips over here, but that was a lot less than I thought there would be. I thought there'd be a lot more chipping. Kind of really digging this piece. This might be our favorite one for this barrel. I am concerned. Just like all the other stones. How is this gonna... Now, Onyx is a 6.5 to a 7 on the Mohs hardness scale. But we wanted to see how it was going to work up, and I think this is just going to take a lot longer than I had originally anticipated. Super cool pattern. Very unique shapes. Very concerned about all these little nooks and crannies, but we will see. All right, we are going to recharge this barrel. We're going to run it for another week in 6090 coarse. I'm not going to put any ceramic media in here. I'm doing an experiment with borax and to see if it thickens the slurry. So I will add borax to this batch, and I'll check the slurry out next week and see if it really made a difference or not. I'm not putting any ceramics in here, as I've mentioned a couple times, because I want this stuff to work out, to shape. But I'm at half full. I think I have a couple pieces of rough left, and I'll add it to the barrel to help with the volume. Okay, be back. Pastel Jasper, also known as Spiritite, depending on what vendor you buy it from, is a jasper that has been mined out of Mexico. This has been running for 1 week in 6090 silicone carbide, also known as stage 1. It did not have any ceramic media because we wanted to get as much shaping as we could. And as you can see, a lot of shaping has happened. So we're pretty happy about that. But it is still rather pitted. Can you see this top, all of this in here? These are all little pits. Little grit catchers like that one. And that one. So it requires a lot more work. There was a lot of chipping. Let's take a look here. A lot of chipping in the barrel. And there's still more clinging to the stones because they're still wet. This is to be expected, and we're not upset about that. But I don't know. I don't understand why it chips so much when the other stones didn't. But goodness gracious, there is just a lot of work that needs to be done. Some of these are so deep that it's just going to be a grit catcher all the way through. And with pits that deep, I don't really want to tumble them. So I'm going to make these garden stones. Because we learned from past experience that trying to grind that out is just going to be a nightmare. It's going to take forever. Goodness. Okay, if I chisel off this entire corner right here, the rest of the stone might actually work. It's really pretty. Absolutely gorgeous design, you know, with all the different markings and patterning in it. I'm gonna call this an intermediate tumble, even though it's called a Jasper. Just because it requires so much extra work and care. I'm gonna call it an intermediate tumble. All of this is pits. Wow. Super cool. Lots of work. See, I mean, it's just lots of little crazy pebbles. Look at this crazy pebble. Insane pattern. I'll go to the Zen garden. Yeah, see, there's just little chips everywhere. It's going to require a lot of work. Given how deep a lot of these pits are. And this is the second time we ran this stone. We ran it before under the name Spiritite, because that's what the vendor told us it was. And then its partner, I mean, that was at Digging Dolls. And then this one was from Fantasia Mining, both like eBay purchases. I think it's the same company under different names. And they have a tendency to call stuff weird things, so it caught me. So I had purchased it a second time. And the first time it was a pain in the ass to run because of things like this. You know, things that are probably never going to tumble out. But we're going to try it anyway. See if we get a better result than the last time. I mean, it took months. Good God, there's just no way on that stone. We saw that one already. It took months to tumble this out, and then we didn't end up with very many pieces. But it is pretty. I don't know. We'll see. I'll take a look at my notes from the last time we ran it. And see what I can do. And it ended up using it as filler for other Jaspers to keep barrels full. Oh my gosh, that's just amazing. All I can say is be wary of buying stone off eBay or Etsy, because some of these vendors are less than scrupulous about the names that they call things. Like, just pick one name, call it the same thing for everybody, so that people know what they're buying, know what they're tumbling. It is pretty, but good God. That whole base of the stone is a nightmare. Okay, we're gonna put this aside and go take a look at what's in 120. Lime green quartz, or so the vendor says, has been running for 1 week in 120-220 silicone carbide grit, which is also known as medium or stage 2. It is wet because we just finished washing it, but let's dry a piece and see what we're working with. Ooh, wow. It is really starting to feel very smooth. Look at that. I am very, very pleased with this. Alright, do I have a flashlight nearby? Hang on, I'm going to go grab a flashlight. I'll be right back. Alright, let's try this with a flashlight. You can see there's some translucency. It's not opaque. There, easier to see when I move the other light out of the way, isn't it? There we go. Oh, hang on, I'm going to turn the big light out. There we go. Now you can see there's translucency. So I have a tendency to believe it's still a quartz. Not like some of those other stones that people have been saying that this is. Okay, let's bring the lighting back. This is feeling wonderful. I mean, like ridiculously fabulous wonderful. And I'm going to move this up to some wash cycles, and then I'm going to put it in 500 pre-polish, and then we will see it next week. This feels so freaking fantastic. I am really, really pleased with how this is coming along. If this polishes the way that I think it's gonna, I will do this over and over and over again. This is really great. This is what tumbling is supposed to feel like. There is just the slightest bit of a texture that you can feel, and which is to be expected because it's only been running in 120. But it is so smooth. Wow. Okay, lime green quartz is fantastic, and I'm going to put it in, like I said, wash cycles and then move it to 500, and we'll see it next week. Lime green quartz. It's so pretty. We'll be right back. And we're back with our Picasso Jasper that has been running in stage 3, 500 aluminum oxide pre-polish for 1 week. And it is working up beautifully. It feels so silky smooth. And I'm pretty darn happy with it. This has been an absolute delight to run. It has had, knock on wood, so far no issues. There's a little bit right there that could probably be worked out more. Right there. 2 little pits caught me. This is such a busy pattern that it's kind of hard to see any imperfections. Let's adjust this camera here. My dogs are seeing a rabbit. Apologize for the barking in the background. Ooh, look at this. Oh wow, these are just gorgeous. I am so happy with these. I think this is going to be ready to move on to 1000, which is our second stage of pre-polish, which I guess would be stage 4. Wow. Oh my gosh, these are just fabulous. I am so happy with these stones. Can't wait to see them all polished. I have them dry, and I know we're not really supposed to have them dry, but they're drying out as I do the inspection. I'm going to give this several wash cycles, switch out the ceramic media. Oh, that's just an optical illusion. And then run it in 1000 for a week. And then we will see these lovelies next time. And I think we're 2 weeks away from being final product. Wow. Holy cow, these are so awesome. Alright, let's just get this wet. Boy, look at the patterns pop when they're wet. You can see the shine from the light when this is wet. You see how smooth this surface is already. Wait until it goes through 1000. And it just gets any of these little micro surface scratches that will be gone. And it'll be as perfect as it can get before it goes to polish. These are so amazing. I don't know if I can pick a favorite. This is Picasso Jasper. Wow. Yeah, every piece I pick up is fine. I am very pleased. It is going to move forward. Yay! Oh, look at that. That's really cool. Let's see if we can get it to focus. I may have found my favorite piece. Maybe. I'm very happy with this Picasso Jasper. I would definitely run this again. I'm going to call this a beginner stone, because it's working up so nicely and it's got so few problems. I mean, it is just some absolutely beautiful rough stone when we got it. As you can see, there's so little in the pitting department. Gosh, I'm tickled pink. All right, we will see this next week. And we're back with our mixed Aventurines that have been running in 1000 pre-polish aluminum oxide for which stage 4 for 1 week, and it's looking really good. And we're going to concentrate on our greens here, and let's dry it off. And we're looking for bruising. There was no chipping in the barrel, so I was very happy about that. I didn't see anything in the ceramic media to indicate that there was an issue. And I'm not seeing any bruising. This whole stone looks kind of crazed. I'll hold it back. Not catching. Oh, it's really looking lovely. We do have this Aventurine split into so many different batches that it may look like there's just the teensiest little bit of green Aventurine here, but there is more. It's just in other stages. Oh, I think this is my favorite piece. Look, it's got a little sparkle in there. I like this line that goes all the way through it. It's really cool. That spalling, there's nothing really we can do to get rid of that. Okay, our green Aventurine is ready to move forward to polish. Now, let's see, we had a piece of smoky quartz in here, doing a catch-up. And it's ready to move forward. It feels really nice. We had a couple pieces of chrysocolla in here. Not real happy with the surface of this stone, so I think it can do another week in 1000. Let's see. Yeah, this one's much better. This one can go to polish. We have some blue Aventurines in this batch. We're doing a catch-up. We've already finished our blue Aventurine project, but we had some pieces left on the shelf. It's feeling really good. That we did some repairs on the flat lap, and then it had to go through the various stages to get caught up. Really, really nice. There we go. Fix that camera. Whew. Not seeing any problems with the surface. This blue Aventurine can move forward to polish. Alright. Oh, yellow Aventurine has been a nemesis. That is optical. Whoops, I did it off camera. It's optical. You cannot feel that. I'm not seeing bruising. There is a tiny bit of spalling. You almost can't avoid spalling with Aventurine. It's very, very difficult to avoid it. A tiny little piece that chipped off and we threw it in to see what it would do. That fracture line's eroding. You can kind of see it, but it's not catching anything. I think I can move all the yellow Aventurine in this barrel forward as well. Look at the progression on this one from the yellow to the peach. Isn't that cool? Alright, and then we have these purples. We have so much purple Aventurine. I was going through the shelves this week, just trying to get an idea what all we had left, and I found a whole nother container of purple Aventurine rough. And I also found some pink Aventurine, but I kind of need a break from Aventurine, so maybe we'll run it over the winter. Yeah, these pieces of purple are feeling okay. Look at all that mica in there. Or whatever it is that's causing the flash. That's really cool. And some paler pieces. Some darker pieces. This looks like damage. but it is really super smooth, and it's all underneath the surface. So it's just a lot of sparkly. I mean, you can see there's a little bit of a shine, a little matte finish, just from being in the 1000 pre-polish. Yeah, it's all moving forward, the whole batch. Wow, that looks crushed, doesn't it? But it is all smooth. Completely smooth. Okay. Now, and we're back with our yellow Aventurine that has been running in polish aluminum oxide, the 2 micron or 8000 grit, for a week. And this has been an adventure with our yellow Aventurine. We have had it in, it went all the way to 1000, and then had such severe bruising that we had to bust it back to 120, which is the medium stage in silicone carbide. And then we got it up to 500, and it needed more work. And then we busted it back to 120 again. And then it went back to 500 and then 1000. And it's been a 1 week in each of these repair stages. And now it's finally, hopefully, finished. This is our polish media. It's looking good. I don't see any breaks, but I will go through it in a minute. Now, let's dry these little beauties off. Boy, I don't know what happened to my flash on this. It seems really dark to me today. Okay. Alright, let's dry them off because they were wet from getting rid of all that polish outside. And now we're dry. And I'm not seeing bruising. I am still seeing a little bit of polish slurry, but that's gonna have to go in a burnish cycle. But wow, look at the shine. Watch the camera just shine off that surface. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Very, very happy. That one's dry. Oh, look at that. Look at the pattern. Isn't that just stunning? Fantastic polish. Oh, I'm calling the yellow Aventurine a success. It took us a while to get there, but we got there. See, all that bruising that was on the edges is gone. Oh, wow. I am so happy. So I'm going to give this a burnish cycle with just borax. I'm not going to put anything else in the barrel. And let it run for, I don't know, 10, 12 hours. And then let it air dry, and then we'll get some pictures, some final photographs. But I'm so pleased. So pleased. I am so glad we went and did all the extra steps of busting it back, you know, to get rid of all that bruising so that we don't have, wow, woof, so that we have a really nice finished project. Oh, I'm so, so happy. Looks like it's been a very productive week. These are completely dry. Look at that. Oh, that looks like a little problem there and there. The polish is gorgeous. Wow. Holy cow, this is beautiful. Okay, we're gonna go put these in a burnish cycle, and then we'll get final photographs tomorrow after it's done. Busy week. Busy, busy week. Okay. We will see you guys next week. Be safe, be happy.